Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the No Shots Fired podcast, episode 42, The Answer. Take that for what you will.
Indeed.
I'm joined by Junkblade this evening. Junkblade, how are you doing?
Just fine. It seems that Velen has turned into a Siamese cat.
Yes! You know, that happens on, Sundays sometimes. So, we'll look out for Valen at the next waxing gibbous moon.
Well, clearly we should have saved this stream for Tuesday, then.
Probably. We'll do another one Tuesday. Whatever.
Probably not now, since, my little brother is in town and will be leaving either Wednesday or Thursday, so I'm
He's
probably
joining.
gonna be hanging out with him.
He's joining.
We could probably convince him.
Let's say Matamos can be on the podcast. Okay. But so yeah, we wanted to get another pod up here to get all your Super Bowl, big game reactions and analysis. Game was bad. All right, moving on.
Saints got robbed. They should have been there, not the Rams. Controversial opinion, I know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well. Let's see. We got Sonic Mania. Got some more Diablo III. One of our classic D&D updates. And then some 2019 games we're excited about, and one unfortunate loss from that lineup. So Sonic Mania is a game I've been finally getting to a little bit on my Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
And in terms of Sonic, my history is mainly with the Game Gear.
Okay.
Since that was the Sega system I had as a kid. So I think I played Sonic 1, then like Sonic 3.
Okay.
And I had an okay time with them back then, as I recall. But so playing through this one, I think it's very well done in terms of feeling like a Sonic game to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't quite get the thing with Sonic games, I guess, because like I just feel like I'm just kind of I'm running, trying to go as fast as I can, and occasionally jumping when I think there might be spikes ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll hit like a plunger and go backwards, and just like I'll always end up kind of at the end of the level, which is impressive level design, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But like playing it, I'm just kind of I just don't get the feeling I do in like Mario games where like platforming, and I know they're going for different feels and everything, but I guess that maybe just speaks to my preference for those types of games. But.
Well, I have played a number of Sonic games myself, although mine usually started on the GameCube, which...
Oh, okay. 3D
I know
Sonic.
Yeah, 3D Sonic, which I'm sure there are plenty of people who will want to hang me for.
I think just feel sorry for you, mainly, at this point.
Probably. And I have played a few of the older games as well, because at one point I had like a Sonic games collection on GameCube, and I don't know what happened to it. But so I played a few of those, and just overall, I don't actually know what it is people want out of a Sonic game to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, you'll have most of the fan base say that every game since the old days has sucked, except sometimes with the exception of Sonic Adventure 2, and I honestly just want to ask them what it is exactly that they want that the current games aren't delivering.
Yeah.
And to be perfectly fair to them, there were some games that were just horrible ideas or horrible execution.
Yes.
But there are others where it's just, okay, what more were you expecting, sort of thing.
It feels like the transition was rough enough to 3D that every game after that, no matter how competent, kind of carries that baggage.
Yeah, that probably is what it is.
And I do think there's just something about the Sonic gameplay that maybe just doesn't quite maybe translate as smoothly, or just is a lot harder than than a platformer like a Mario where you're taking your time trying to do kind of precision stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like Sonic was such kind of an early 90s thing that it's tough to recapture that because it was just in such a response to Mario, right? So like it was just
Yeah.
it was playing off of things that everyone knew Mario did, and I feel like you can't do that for super long before it either kind of gets old or it's just tough to continue to do in a competent fashion, maybe.
Well, the other thing is that just taking a look at the two franchises, the Mario franchise has kind of grown and evolved since then.
Yes.
Like, even the modern day games still have platforming, but you also have Mario Party, Mario Tennis, Mario Golf,
Yes.
on and on and on. But they keep doing the exact same thing with Sonic games.
Now there's Sonic Racing All Stars something or other. That was one.
Well, I suppose there was also Sonic Riders, which me and my cousin played for a while just because like I said, we got introduced on the GameCube, and we found it enjoyable enough to attempt on the way down to Florida trips and stuff like that.
That seems to be the problem, is maybe Sonic tried to do that sort of thing, but just Sega wasn't quite able to pull it off as well as Nintendo did.
I think it also helps the Mario franchise that the setting isn't exactly serious to begin with.
Yes.
Whereas the problem with Sonic is that the tone of each game will change from game to game.
Yeah.
So, like, they're trying to be more story-based, is what it feels like, but then they don't actually have a consistent feeling narrative. So
also, it's a blue hedgehog who wears wristbands, so it's tough to.
Yeah.
But that is a good point. You're definitely right, because Mario, you know exactly what you're going in for in terms of tone and stuff. It's as consistent as it gets, but it's always like I've always, enjoyed it, but it's never like story's never something I've really considered in a Mario game because they don't care about it. Right. So.
And the story is more fun to work with in Mario. Like, there are hundreds of theories about the Mario story, and I think one of our favorites is the idea that at this point they're all just friends who are doing this stuff as like a weekend.
It's like it's like a play sort of thing.
Yeah,
like I think Mario 3 actually was a play.
Yeah, Mario 3 was the one that actually was a play,
and I guess they do kind of save those story elements for the RPGs, right? So like. Mario RPG, the Paper Mario games, Mario and Luigi games, like those are all great games too. And I guess maybe it's there's platformers that have good stories, right? Maybe like the form of individual levels is maybe tougher to have like the kind of cohesive narrative that at least I'm looking for in a story these days.
Mm-hmm.
Because now that I think about it, looking at my shelf. Because like Mega Man, the story's very rote and not like they don't like the actual things that are happening would be really dark if they like addressed it at all.
Yeah,
but they don't. So
well, they address them somewhat in the Mega Man Zero series, but that's a little more niche, even though it is one of my favorites out of the Mega Man series.
Yes. So I guess I'm gonna keep giving Sonic Mania a try. But I don't feel good at it. I guess is a problem, and I'll keep playing it, give it more of a go. But
for keeping you invested in a game,
that and just like the kind of like the one hit, which I get, I guess Mario's like that too. But I guess the hits, like when I'm trying to do you can't do precision jumps in Sonic, right? It's just a little too floaty. When you're not moving fast, when you're trying just like that loss of momentum really kills kind of my enjoyment of a level sort of thing.
Well, also the almost 2-hit system in Sonic feels a little bit more stab you in the gut than it does in Mario, because in Mario you just lose a mushroom, you can find another mushroom.
Yeah.
But in Sonic, if you've got 300 rings saved up and somebody bumps into you, you automatically lose most of those rings.
Yeah, and you're trying to. Yeah, I basically just try to keep one ring on my person at all times. Is basically what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say, looks in terms of going for that classic style looks great. Music's good.
Mhm.
I'm enjoying the nods, at least that I recognize. I'm sure there's many more that I'm missing. Kind of back to those old games. So that's it's a cool setting, and I wouldn't mind. And I guess they do have made a few of these, but some Mario games like this, kind of like those old 2D style, like Mega Man 9 and 10. We're back to the NES style. Like I do like those, and this is a good one of those. So
Okay.
I guess let me know how you're doing in Diablo 3. Junkblade.
All right, so moving on to Diablo 3, I have 5 characters at level 70.
Oh boy. So we should probably play that together soon, huh?
We should probably play that together soon. The monk is the only one who I have not leveled up.
Excellent. That was actually my plan, because I wanted to play them with you as a monk. So
my barbarian is level 52, and the one who I'll probably get to level 70 when I next feel like playing Diablo 3.
All right. My wizard is now level 5.
All right.
I think.
I will get my monk to level 5 so that we are on even ground when we start playing.
We should try to do that this week. Ish.
Ish.
Okay. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Okay. You still doing your main character with the season stuff, or?
I have decided to make a seasonal character, which I've gotten them up to level 40, and it feels like so much more of a grind getting up a character in the fair way than it does doing it the easy way with the Gem of Ease and the Hellfire Ring and Hellfire Amulet.
Oh, that's right, because you could equip like crazy weapons.
Yeah, the Gem of Ease lets me equip any weapon I want, just removes the level requirement entirely, and then there are 2 items you can make called the Hellfire Amulet and the Hellfire Ring, which don't have level caps.
I like the Ring of Ease. That's a great name for something. So
yes, I am somewhat in the process of just kind of looking for neat items at this point. Like, I assume it's still in the game because it was when I played Diablo 3 on the 360. There was a one-handed sword called Ixarian, which was just the Diablo 3 Excalibur.
Yeah.
It would be fun to find that as a weapon to turn other items into.
That would be cool. Okay. Is there a what kind of look are you preferring in terms of the skins and stuff?
For the most part, as angelic as I can get them. Like, for the Paladin, that's very easy, because there's one outfit that is literally just an angel minus the wings, which maybe I can eventually get through, the seasons, because, like, cosmetic wings are one of the things you can get.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
The Witch Doctor, I've got, like, a bird theme going on.
Ooh.
The Demon Hunter, who I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to get them to level 70, because why not?
Now hang on, I thought for sure you weren't doing a Demon Hunter.
Yeah, I say things a lot. I think I ended up doing it out of spite more than desire. Like, it is still the least fun class to play, although once you get up to around level 50, they get a little more fun.
Okay. Is it mainly just kind of a lack of, like, interesting abilities, or it just doesn't feel good?
Like, they're intended to be a support class, I think, so they really don't function well on their own.
Okay, yeah, that's no good.
Plus, like, every class has if you would die instead, this thing happens, this can only trigger once every 60 seconds. The Demon Hunter doesn't get theirs until level 68.
Oh, goodness.
Other classes get them before level 40.
Uh-huh.
So
wow. That's a big gap.
Yeah, it's a big gap, and it makes surviving a hell of a lot harder. So my Barbarian is level 52, and the Monk is level 1. Otherwise, I have a character of each class at level 70 right now.
That's impressive. Pretty impressive.
Uh,
How long do seasons go again?
they vary, but usually about 3 months.
Oh wow, okay.
So I think we're about a month into this one, so if you wanted to remake your character as a seasonal character, if they aren't one,
and that's when the season's over, they just turn into a normal character. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
And you've got a limited amount of time to get, like, a month to get their items off of them and make them non-seasonal.
Okay, so you lose items? You can't use certain items anymore?
You will lose items if, like, there's some sort of weird transfer thing you have to do. I don't know why. You'd think they just, by default, become non-seasonal along with your character, but you have to actually go through and transfer them for some reason.
Okay. I see. Okay. Is there anyone that's got a Switch you've been playing with, or just all solo up to this point?
All solo up to this point.
Okay.
A friend of mine has a Switch, but we haven't played together yet. Also, I keep getting item drops that say a gift for Doc, which
Excellent.
I'll start giving to you once we're higher levels, because it gives you like a legendary item, but there's no point in giving you one at level 5 because it's scaled to your level.
That's awesome. So I'm playing without even playing. Great.
Yep.
Score one for me. Okay.
Indeed.
Oh, man.
I think that's pretty much my Diablo 3 summary. Do you have any questions about it?
I don't think... we just got to start playing a little bit together, and then we can get going on it.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get that going soon. So it's been a little bit. How many D&D sessions have we done in the interim here? Maybe
I've actually
2
missed two of
right.
them.
That's
because one weekend I was in Florida, the other weekend cousins were in town, and I was hanging out with them instead.
Okay.
And before we get to the topic of games we're excited about, I did have a short, random topic to bring up.
Okay.
About the Switch.
Right.
But anyway, in first part of the D&D update, we're removing one of the games from the rotation on behest of the DM and adding 2 other games to the rotation, so it's going to be like... So we've got a grand total of 4.
Which one's going away?
The Cannibal Elf one.
Oh, who could have seen that coming? Oh, what happened?
DM just has some stuff going on in his life right now that so he doesn't want the added stress of DMing as well.
Okay, Cannibal Elf 8, everybody. I get it.
The 2 other ones that are starting that I have not done a session of, which are the 2 that they played the weekends I was away, are a D20 modern campaign, so basically D&D in modern times.
Okay.
Where we all have different weird characters. The person who plays the Cannibal Elf is playing a Yeti.
Is it a Cannibal Yeti?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, not a historically accurate Yeti then, I guess.
The one person whose campaign is no longer being ran, he's going to play a kobold with a shotgun sized for a medium creature, so that every time he fires it, he does the Pirates of the Caribbean thing where his character just does this.
Maybe not the most useful for, like, heavy combat, having to factor that in, but...
I'm going to be playing an ASMR Tinkerer.
Okay.
Since ASMR is my favorite default D&D race.
Okay, do they just, like, whisper creepily into microphones? Is that their, ASMR? Anybody?
I don't get that reference, unfortunately.
ASMR is when people get like weird tinglies when someone like whispers in their ear, and now it's like a huge YouTube thing. And it was a Super Bowl commercial for Michelob Ultra, and I'm really upset about it. Because it's just creepy whispering. Okay, sorry. Tangent over.
No, that's perfectly fine. I just didn't get it.
Tinkerer, talk me through, because I don't know if I've heard of that.
1 moment. Friend sent me something. Okay. So it basically just they work with gadgets. So they're basically the group mechanic.
Okay. All right.
And those are all the character concepts that I recall offhand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait,
what?
No, yeah, that I don't recall. I recall 2 other people's races, but not what their characters actually do. Because again, I haven't actually played in this campaign yet.
Okay, so is this just like? Because you say like Kobold and all that, so it's regular D&D stuff. Just like there's cars around, basically, or
it's basically so the DM's idea was there's like our world, which has a few weird things in it. You can be from either the natural world or this other world, and that my character and the Yeti made a portal gun and accidentally opened up a hole into the other world, which all the other characters are coming from.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I'll be curious to see. Like, I guess it's not. Hey, this is just a setting kind of thing. But if there's anything that factors into the gameplay or roleplay aspect of it,
yeah, I think we are going to be playing that campaign on the 16th. So,
okay.
Well, I should have an update after that.
Right. Like, do you ever have to make a nature check because you've got cell phones? Like, you just look stuff up all the time, or?
That is a good question.
Or is it replaced by like, oh, my ability to Google is a skill? So you're rolling your Google check.
I'm gonna have to take another look at the character sheet later. I do know that they've added like more craft options and knowledge options. Okay. Linguistics as a skill is a lot more involved. Like, I think you have to put separate skill points in every language. So instead of D&D where it's like, okay, I put 5 skill points in linguistics, I speak 5 different languages, I've got a +5 to German, a +3 to Japanese, a +1. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot to keep. That's like half a sheet. Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why it might take me a little while to make my character. The next new campaign, which we will only be playing for a limited period of time because the Dungeon Master is going to be moving away at the end of the year, is a Lord of the Rings campaign.
Ooh, okay.
It's loosely Lord of the Rings because there are some setting breaks just because of different character ideas people wanted to play. Like, my good friend Caesar wants to play a Hobbit wizard.
Hobbit wizard.
Yes. Trust me, that is not the worst character idea in the party.
Alright, which one of you is Tom Bombadil, is my question.
None of us are Tom Bombadil.
Oh, no one's Tom Bombadil. Come on!
I'm just playing a knight who was inspired by legends of, like, the great kings of men, like Aragorn Elisar, and his pretty much his entire line, and the people who took on Sauron, and it's like, you know what, I'm gonna be a knight and go make a name for my family.
Okay.
You know, a perfectly reasonable motivation for a character in Lord of the Rings.
I think so. A sellsword.
The person who came up with the worst idea.
Okay, hit me.
Numenorian Warlock.
Numenor? What timeline is this supposed to be?
This is well.
No, wait, real
I
quick,
think
real quick.
the
Numenor.
warlock part is why he's still alive.
Yeah, okay.
But For we're several hundred years after the War of the Ring.
Like Lord of the Rings, the books.
No, we're a ways after that.
So we're like 2 ages past when Numenor was even a thing.
I think I think Numenor was the first age.
Now we're in the 4th, right?
Now we're in the 4th, so we're technically 3 ages past when Numenor was a thing.
Come on, dude. I would be insufferable in character, questioning like, where you been? What's up?
Well, see, here's the reason it's actually a problem, which is because the Numenorians who didn't side with Sauron were called the Dunedain. You know, the Rangers Aragorn was part of.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's a Numenorian warlock means he was one of the people who sided with Sauron.
Okay, well... What if
He's the guy playing a demon summoner in a party full of paladins, basically.
I would just... okay, here's what I would treat it as, like, he kind of claims he's Numenorian, but I just don't believe him. Oh, okay, dude. What if he just, like... Here's a good twist. He can, like role plays Numenorian, but he's not. I think that would be great. Just, like, wishes he was Numenorian, but was, like, born 2,000 years too late for that boat.
I think my character is going to decide to basically take your approach and say, okay, I'm not taking you seriously, because if I take you seriously, I think I have to kill you on principle.
That should be an interesting one. That's good.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an interesting group dynamic, because all the rest of us are basically good guys, and he's the only one who's not. In fact, I think the Dungeon Master even said he's the only one in the party who will have to actually resist shadow corruption.
Okay, so some fun skill checks in your future.
Indeed.
Okay, that's a good mix of campaign. So that means the Japanese one's still going? Is that right?
The Japanese one is still going. That is the one we played yesterday. Okay. And people kind of drifted in and out over the course of it. There are, including me, there are 3 of us that tend to go until like 2 or 3 a.m. because we tend to get started pretty late, and we're just like, hey, you know what? We've got this space. We're not bugging anybody. Let's just go until we can't see straight.
Yes, a lack of constraints often causes...
So... Last we left off, we cleared out the Tomb of Undead.
Okay.
And I do have an answer to why we had to let one of the Guardians go, which I will explain when Valen gets back. Well, I'll just explain again when Valen gets back next time.
Good.
Basically, they both were supposed to have, like, their terms of guardianship done with and allowed to go out into the world. But because the tomb got desecrated again, one of them was forced to stay, and one of them would get to go out again automatically. And odds are, if we didn't choose, something horrible would happen, like they just both got to go out and immediately tried to kill each other, sort of thing.
Okay, so this is more like an overtime issue, kind of timekeeping.
Yeah, and my character's logic was, of course, that, hey, if we just keep the devil relegated here, as long as nobody goes in the tomb, which no one has any reason to go into the tomb, we're fine. We'll just warn people not to go into the tomb, because there's a devil there.
Always keeps people out. Classic. Just post a sign that says, hey, don't go in there.
We went back to Stonefall Fort.
Stonefall Fort.
There's lots of things with stone in their name.
Do you have to dodge falling stones while in the fort?
Not yet.
Disappointing. Okay.
I think somebody did get hit by a rock at some point last session, though.
All right, I'll allow it.
And once we got back to town, we saw 6 samurai from the Dragon Clan on horses.
They're probably good, right? Dragon Clan?
They actually are. It's just they're very serious sorts of people.
Oh, yeah, you did say samurai, so yeah.
And they are the main ones who think that they have a claim to the throne currently.
Oh, good.
There's not really, but as the throne has been empty for 10 years, they haven't really resolved this in any real manner.
Okay, so a very chill group.
Reasonably chill, and we are in their lands right now, so, we're treating them with respect.
Gotcha.
We go back to the fort and talk to the captain, and just sort of explain everything that went down. We purged the Tomb of Undead, consecrated it, and then, got out.
Okay. Bing, bang, boom.
And the captain was just like, so I can finally sleep then? And we said, yes.
Did he then get, vaporized or something? That feels like a one-day to retirement kind of setup.
He did not get vaporized.
Oh, okay.
He got to actually just take a freaking nap, finally.
All right, I guess that's fine.
So we go back on the way back to the town we originally came from, Serpent's Pass, not Shadow's Pass. I don't know why I thought Shadow's Pass.
S word, I get it.
Yeah. And then we meet these weird things that basically look like Muppets that continually mimic whatever it is you say.
Fun to talk to.
Or mimic something that they've heard from somebody else. Which is why my character started freaking the heck out when one of them said, Tsukiko should be coming along this way. We'll wait for her. Because there's literally no one around here who should know my character's name. And that's not a super common name. It's not like Bob should be along here.
Okay, so that implies someone's lying in wait for you somewhere.
And the only people who would know her name are her biological family, and I believe I mentioned the whole cursed Bione thing.
You did.
Yeah, so that's not a good thing in her mind. So yeah, she's just constantly on edge the rest of the journey. Okay. And it doesn't help when we get approached by this badger man who tells us there's a hag nearby.
Okay, what was the badger man's name?
I don't remember. It was one of those sessions where there were lots of distractions, and honestly, I probably needed more sleep.
That's fair.
So we helped him kill the hag, which cleared this annoying fog that was around our feet, and making the whole area scary because it was basically up to our knees.
Ooh.
And
no, thank you.
Yeah, made traveling hard. And then we went back to traveling, and during the fight, my one companion was knocked into a nearby river and seemed to have gotten really sick from it. And then as we kept traveling further, we noticed he wasn't getting better, he was getting worse. So I examined him with a heal check, and he was suffering from a really unpleasant disease called fox fever.
Foxy fever.
So so my character was like, okay, so do you want the bad news or the really bad news? The bad news is, we need to get back to Serpent's Pass and hope that the one Badger Priest is still in town so that he can exorcise you.
Mm.
The really, really bad news is this is a disease called fox fever, and it's caused by Kitsune who have turned into Oni.
Okay.
And then my character met their big brother. After our party's priest channeled energy to heal us, and it basically made my companion hack the Oni out.
Oh.
Like, as really awful black tar.
Ew, gross.
Yeah. We actually had a rather civil discussion, and then he left. Well, after the companion who he infected with the disease tried shooting his head.
Okay. Tried. Okay. So did you didn't end up having to go back to town then?
We ended up going back to town anyway. That's basically where it's just the three of us left. I explained what had gone on to the person who sent us on the trip in the first place. My companion went to the bar to get really, really drunk. And then after I was done explaining the situation to them, I went up to the bartender and was like, you know what? I've just had a week. Give me your best food and just keep the drinks coming.
Yeah, I would have a similar reaction, I think.
And I don't recall the entire list of what my character drank, but it started with something called Dragon Brandy.
Ooh. What kind of fire effect did it give you? After drinking?
Basically, it burnt a whole lot, and then once I got drunk enough, I saw a dragon.
Ooh, okay. What color dragon?
Basically Shinron from Dragon Ball.
Excellent.
So the list of things that I drank was like 20 things long. It ended with a cask of beer.
Oh, okay. So you were planning to sleep in then?
I went with the. I think I did a full-on dwarf drinking binge. We both woke up the next day. My companion woke up having slept with about 24 people.
That's a lot of in that amount of time. That's impressive.
Yes. And I apparently put a horse on the roof of a church. Went down into the well, and nobody's sure what happened after that because I came back, but I didn't come back through the well, and the well doesn't lead anywhere.
Ah.
And I also have a jade orb the size of a dinner plate.
So you did a little excavating then.
We don't know what I did. Nobody knows what the heck I did. We found a guy who claimed to know and said it was a treasure of the Third Eye Open clan, which is basically the Dark Brotherhood of this setting.
Okay.
And that it belonged to he who the sun itself hid from. So I was like, oh, great. So I've just pissed off another Oni Lord. But then it turns out he was tricking us the entire time, and he who hides from the sun is dead, and it didn't belong to the Third Eye Open clan. He has no idea where I got it.
So still out on where the heck that orb is going to lead you.
Exactly.
Excellent. Always good.
But he says if I take off big and bad enough Oni enough, I can always shove the thing down its throat to kill it.
just like as a choking device, or does it have some sort of mystical power, or
it has Jade has a mystical power in regards to Oni.
Okay, I was hoping
sort of like Kryptonite and Superman. Not quite that bad, but more like magic and Superman, I should say.
Okay. But not just something, this is actually big enough to choke it Oni if they swallow it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it is this big. But
that's pretty big.
Yeah. But anyway, that was basically the D&D update.
Okay. Quite a bit of, moving and shaking then in that one. I'll be interested to hear how those new campaigns come along.
Oh, last thing. My companion, who I went on the drinking binge with, they're a ranger, so they got their animal companion this section, which is a baby badger.
A baby badger.
Yeah, they're going to raise it to be a fighting badger.
Okay. I didn't know if animal companions were like spirit things that didn't grow or anything like that, but...
They grow as you level. Like, once I hit level 7, my wolf will grow to large size.
Oh, okay. Baby badger.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. Speaking of baby badgers, there's going to be games coming out this year that will, I'm sure, grow in our interest. Yeah.
Except the main one that I'm going to bring up.
Yeah, there was one that was probably on a lot of people's lists that we were hoping to hear about and play. Metroid Prime 4.
Which sadly has been basically completely trashed, and Nintendo is starting development over from the beginning.
Yes, it sounds like, so we got, this, was it last week sometime? They released a video
Yeah.
talking about the delay, and it sounds like this was initially being developed in, like, kind of pieces by a number of different studios, and it sounded like it just was not coming together in the way Nintendo was hoping, and it sounds like so they've gone back and given it to Retro Studios, who made the original Metroid Prime games. So, I mean...
Yeah, that at least is a very good indication, like, that it's not going to turn into vaporware.
Yeah, and I mean, disappointing in the sense that definitely a game I was excited about, but also not super surprising since we'd heard nothing from it since that teaser that basically was just like a star field, right? So
yeah, it was literally just like a trailer that they probably put together in half an hour.
Yeah, that had Metroid sound effects, and so yeah, I'm not, I'm hoping they maybe got started a little bit, like a little while ago, and just kind of decided until now to make the announcement sort of thing, so hopefully it's getting going, but it'll probably be a little bit before we're slapping that into our Switches.
Yeah.
And continuing the adventure of Samus Aran Bounty Hunter. But, yeah, definitely one I was looking forward to. I need to play... I've beaten 1, I've played some of 2. That's a series I should... I guess I've got more time to complete it now, before 4 comes out. But definitely one to go for.
I had trouble completing Metroid Prime 2 as well. I don't know what it is compared to 1 and 3.
I think
it's just not quite as enjoyable.
I think I've heard similar things, like the light dark world gets a little tedious, is what I heard.
Yeah.
A little bit. So yeah, that might be one I just kind of like open a walkthrough and kind of go through it just to experience kind of the story and stuff where that goes, as opposed to beating my head against where the heck to go next. Which I guess some people would say that's the whole point of a Metroid game, but, get off my back about it, I guess. Let's see, ones I've been kind of keeping my eye on. And here's another one I guess we've only seen kind of a teaser thing, is Luigi's Mansion 3.
Oh, I would be very excited for that.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that hits. Those are very fun games. I think I've played a good deal more of the 3DS one, but I finally got the GameCube version back, because that was one of the ones I think I sold as a kid.
But... So one that I found in just Googling games coming out in 2019, March 8th is going to be the release of Devil May Cry 5. Which I am actually looking forward to.
Okay. So that's so those kind of action games. I guess because I guess you do enjoy it's not nearly the same thing as Dark Souls, but it's still like third-person action kind of thing.
Yeah, Dark Souls is
definitely
Dark Souls.
Yeah, definitely slower and more deliberate. And
Devil May Cry, unless you play on a high difficulty setting deliberately, is more just a beat 'em up, and It's the kind of game you play when you've had a really bad day at work and just need to destroy things.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
So
That's
yeah,
sooner than I thought.
yeah, I didn't actually even know about it.
Yeah, because I don't think I mean, I haven't kept up too much on it since I haven't been super into the Devil May Cry series, but I feel like I would have heard more about that if they've released more trailers or more information about it. But let's see, another one that I'm probably just gonna get, whether I play it a ton or not, just for the look of it, is Yoshi's Crafted World.
Ooh,
And I don't know if you've seen any trailers for this, but it's essentially like a Yoshi's Island kind of game where you're got the eggs, throwing the eggs, but everything's made of like construction paper and cardboard and just like household craft things. And
okay.
it just looks like Nintendo just does such a good job, like graphically and visually. On like Yoshi's Woolly World was really good looking. Kirby's Epic Yarn was really cool on the Wii. Like these kind of games are just really, the visual style gets me. Whether I get too far into the game or not, I just like supporting that kind of those kind of visuals, I guess. And this looks no different. Although the music on those trailers is just real not good. It's like a slightly out of tune recorder or something. I don't know. Like I get what they're going for, but it's like, okay, I can't. Please, please tell me there's like another instrument in the soundtrack of this game. But that one I think is pretty soon. Also, that might be March sometime.
We're apparently not getting even like an announcement about another mainstream Pokemon game until late this year.
Really?
Just looking at what I can find.
Oh wow! I thought last I'd heard was that they were putting one out, planning to put one out this year. I'd be surprised.
They're planning to put it out this year, but the way it was phrased, it made it sound like they were just announcing something this year.
Okay. Well, that was one that was on my list too. Was whatever the next Pokemon thing they released, since I enjoyed Let's Go so much. I'd be surprised if they didn't release something to kind of ride the momentum of that game a bit. Whether it's the next in the line of whatever they're remaking and stuff like that, or if it is the new one, then maybe it's just like a Christmas title kind of thing. But interesting. Okay. Animal Crossing.
I have never actually played any of the Animal Crossing games.
I played the one I played was the 3DS one, which I think is the last new one, called New Leaf. And I had never played one before, wasn't sure how I would like it, and I put like 120 hours into that game. It just really hit like the collector and like organizer bones in my body, and just like I wanted to get all the fish species, all the bug species, dig up all the fossils. Like they had the other villagers were silly enough that I enjoyed talking to them for the most part, and getting the random Nintendo stuff. Like I wore a Metroid helmet forever, and they're just really fun kind of slice of life kind of games. But I'll be interested to see if there's any big changes going to the Switch. But I mean, they've done console Animal Crossings before, but I've never played any of them, so I don't know how they're, or if they are any different from the 3DS one I played. But that's another one we've only gotten like 2019 sometime. So I'll be.
Yeah.
I'm wondering when Nintendo's next Direct kind of laying out this year is going to be. Feels like I thought we were kind of gonna get it in January, but checking my calendar, we're past that. So.
So here's one that neither of us care about, and I'm honestly surprised that anyone cares about.
Okay.
Gears of War 5.
5? Oh boy.
Yeah. And the thing that made me laugh when I read the description was they're really focusing on the story this time and going to try and get you to care about it. And I'm just thinking, guys, the fifth entry in a series is too late to do that.
Yep. You lost me in the first one on that one there, gang. Yeah, that game, that series, I've just never clicked with. And I know, like, I've enjoyed horde modes in other games, and I think that kind of at least became really popular in the Gears series. But yeah, that just like cover-based shooting, I never felt good doing it. And then, yeah, the story was just nothing.
Well, this is one of those things where I wish that video game sales were as like public knowledge as movie sales, because it would be interesting to see in some of these franchises that, okay, just because we've stopped caring about them, does that mean no one cares about them? Are they just trying to beat a dead horse, or is there actually legitimately money in doing this?
I think Gears is probably still popular enough to draw a fair amount. I mean, in terms of Xbox exclusive, what else have you got, right? Because Halo's not coming anytime soon. So,
I think it said Halo Infinite was in beyond 2019, so it's going to be next presidential election before we get it. Probably
we don't have to reference things by that. Oh God. Oh, now I'm distracted. But yeah, in terms of Microsoft franchise, like that's their like Gears is probably their other major tentpole franchise that I can think of. Really, I mean that they've had a rough go of it.
I mean they did have Mass Effect at one point, but
well, yeah, and then they lost that, and the last one apparently.
Yeah, based on what I heard, the reception for the last one is so bad, the franchise is kind of dead now.
Although I just people say that, and I'm like, they'll wait a little bit, they'll put on their Mass Effect, and people will buy it. Like, don't.
Yeah.
I didn't play a ton of Mass Effect Andromeda, and I admit to being disappointed by it. But like, I would play another Mass Effect game. I'd give another one a try in a heartbeat. Like,
yeah, it's not like Mass Effect is the Ogre Battle series.
Yeah. So I like, and I understand. Like, I don't disagree with the idea that it probably needs to take a break, but like pronouncing something dead just seems short-sighted to me because it's not true.
Yeah, well, I am going to say that the Ogre Battle series is dead, but that's because it's owned by Square Enix, and they're not going to do anything with it.
yeah. EA's not going to leave Mass Effect to die for
EA's not going to leave Mass Effect of all things to die.
No.
There are other things they're going to leave to die.
So yeah, hope they get back on track with the next one.
Like Jade Empire.
Let's see, another smaller game I'm hoping to see is In the Valley of Gods. So
I was looking at that in terms of just things.
Yeah, trailer's really good.
Looked interesting.
Really like the song in the trailer. But also, these are the people who made Firewatch. Very much kind of a story game. But again, like a visual style I really enjoyed. And the story was interesting enough. And kind of the mechanic of you being alone in a Firewatch tower in, some national park. And you're just kind of talking with another Firewatcher over the radio. Sort of thing, and going exploring each day and trying to, you end up solving, or you end up embroiled in this mystery kind of thing. It was a cool little game. So I'm excited to see what they do next. And kind of going to Egypt in the 1920s seems like a really cool setting, I think. So excited to see that. Probably on the complete opposite end of the spectrum is a game called Daemon Ex Machina. I don't know if you've seen this. Look up a video if you haven't. It's basically really like metal songs and like robots fighting in a very stylized fashion. So that looks great. But it's just one of these like maybe mech combat game genre isn't the right genre because it's not like a really complicated or slow paced. Like it's like a maybe Gundam fighting game. Sort of. I don't know, it looks very intense and like anime, and so that's cool. But a lot of style in that one, I would say. And then one I think we're curious if it's let alone going to come out this year, when it's going to come out. Period. But it's supposed to come out, according to you, which I didn't know, is Shenmue 3.
Yeah, I was just looking at like games that are supposed to come out this year, and it said Shenmue 3 in August.
Now, did you play any of the Shenmue games?
No, I did not.
Me neither. I watched. I would say my favorite video game site, Giant Bomb, did like a playthrough of at least the first one, I think. And I watched a few episodes of that, and boy howdy, I don't get it.
So, looking at the gameplay demo for Daemon X Machina, it reminds me of a game I used to play on the GameCube called Zoids.
Okay.
Where you played animal-shaped, no, specifically dinosaur-shaped mecha.
Of course.
Like, as the same general playstyle, just less clunky.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it looks very cool. So I'll be curious to see how that goes. That might be one I watch a little bit of game, a little bit of a playthrough before going into it, to kind of see what it's all about. But definitely one I'm keeping my eye on. But yeah, Shenmue, I don't know. It's kind of like a life game where you kind of fight a little bit. It's weird. It's a really weird game. So maybe one I watch somebody else play, but probably I'm not gonna dive in myself because who's got the time for that?
Yeah.
Let's see. Last one I've got on my list is Untitled Goose Game. Now, if you have not, I need you to watch the video now if you haven't, because it is.
Is that actually what it's called?
I believe it is still called an Untitled Goose Game, but it looks real good.
I am watching right now.
Because you're basically a goose. And you're annoying people. And just like the animations, I think, are extremely well done. Which is always...
kind of makes me think of a 3D Bob's Burgers. and that's a good thing.
Yeah. But just like it looks like you can honk and then grab stuff, and it's just like one of these sandbox games where you can just get into all sorts of shenanigans. So it looks like you kind of these sandbox levels where you have certain objectives, and there's a lot of different ways to go about them, sort of thing. So definitely one that not only can you have a lot of fun playing, I expect a lot of really good clips of people doing silly stuff.
Okay. And I was just looking at another video, but I haven't seen anything about this game. Star Fox Zero. Oh, that's for the Wii U, not for the Switch.
I've got it on the shelf. I haven't opened it, if that tells you enough about the reception to that one.
So the last thing that I wanted to specifically talk about real quick, which I was going to mention earlier, was I find the eShop for the Switch kind of disappointingly sparse.
Really?
On the Nintendo Wii, you could get pretty much any NES, SNES, or even Nintendo 64 game for $10.
Eventually, yeah. They were pretty... Nintendo's always been slow about rolling that out, is the problem.
Yeah, whereas right now, I can't find much of anything except the 25 or so random ones they have.
Oh, yeah. But in terms of what they used to call the Virtual Console, they've got nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, that is a bummer. Just because I think you could almost... people have talked about this. You could do a Netflix style. I'd pay $10 a month to have most of Nintendo's previous library available, right? That would be...
Yeah, well, especially since they went out of their way to shut down all the ROM places. Which, from a company standpoint, I understand that. But if you aren't going to then provide those games to people in some manner, then you're just being jerks. Yeah.
That's a weak one. I think people have digging through the code have seen stuff for Super Nintendo games.
Okay.
On the Switch thing, so I'm hoping they spin that up a bit, especially with how well the Switch is selling. That would just that's easy money. right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
they've emulated enough of those to to the Wii U even, to have those into three. They've done enough emulation stuff for that.
Yeah,
And I wonder if part of it was a little bit of a delay because of the classics, but we're far enough away from those that I think that would be a weak argument at this point. So yeah. In terms of they've done a really good job in terms of indie games and all that other stuff. But yeah, the previous consoles library is no good.
Yeah, and like I was saying, it shouldn't be that hard for them to do. If they can emulate NES games on the Switch, they can emulate SNES and Nintendo 64 games.
Yeah, the fact that they've got those emulators already done. Like I don't know, my lack of tech knowledge still, I don't think putting those on in like some sort of slightly up-resing or some sort of scaler or something like that would be that difficult.
Or Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's a decent library of those.
Well, I mean, people were talking about, like, really speculating before the Switch came out, like, what the GameCube offerings were going to be, because we all assumed that there was going to be the stuff that was already available, and GameCube's kind of next up to get that treatment. So, yeah, I'm hoping that this year we get a good deal more movement on that, because it's... Yeah, that is a blank spot in their offering for sure, and they're doing a real good job on almost everything else. It is kind of stark how bad they've been in terms of that. So,
because I'm just speaking for myself, but I would absolutely, there are several Nintendo 64 games that I would kill to have on a handheld console.
Oh yeah.
Like, seriously, Nintendo, who do you want gone?
Oh yeah, and I'm a sucker. I'll buy that game for like the 6th time.
Yeah.
Just give me the opportunity.
Or like the Mega Man X collection. I would love to have that on a handheld console.
Well, you can get that on the Switch.
Okay. Yeah, they've got like a weird... They split it up in a weird way. So
yeah, if you buy... Well, at least if you buy the physical of the first part, you get the second... Like, they said, the box is both of them, but one of them's like a download code, I think, for the second part.
I'm not that fond of the download code things.
Well, I mean... Some people might say you get the good X games on the cartridge, at least, I guess, but...
Fair. I prefer actually owning the game.
Yeah, I take a look at my shelf. I definitely prefer the physical things, but
because this is the month of my birthday, I do get like a 30% off one virtual game, so I'll probably be using that on a game that I can't get a physical copy of anyway.
Okay.
Like, I might end up getting Hollow Knight for the Switch, because it's a solid game and 30% off.
Did you like the Advance Wars games?
I don't think I ever played the Advance Wars games.
Okay. Maybe take a look at it's called War Groove. Take a look at that. It's kind of like a tactical RPG kind of game. Which I guess if you haven't played Advance Wars, that's my only comparison. But it's getting it just kind of, I think it just came out recently. It's getting pretty good pub. But all right. Well, I'm assuming there's no questions, because there's very rarely any questions.
There are no questions.
But yeah, some things to keep an eye on, in the coming year, and I'm excited to kind of see it. It's a combination, I think, that Sony and Microsoft are kind of gearing up to transition to new hardware, and Nintendo's just kind of being a little coy about their schedule, because it feels like they've got potentially some really good stuff in the pipe. We just got to hear specifics and kind of release dates. So
yeah, in my reading, it said they are going to end up doing a follow-up to Breath of the Wild.
I would, I'd play that in a heartbeat. So yeah, exciting stuff, but hopefully we start getting some more solid details.
Exactly.
But, and when those details come to No Shots Fired for your expert analysis.
Also, for all 0 giant video game companies that are watching right now, someone please buy the Ogre Battle IP from Square Enix. They'll let it go for cheap, I'm sure. They're
Get
not
it out of
doing
the
anything
vault.
with it anyway.
Get it out of there. It's time for its day in the sun. And on that note, Junkblade, we will talk to you next time.
Indeed.
All right.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a good evening, everybody.